People in white robes and with rainbow flags showed up in Brussels at the headquarters of the European Parliament. The protesters included more than 100 mayors from Czech cities and towns. RT's Anne Smith was there to find out why.
An unprecedented event, a public hearing on the anti-ballistic missile or ABM defence system at the European Parliament. Campaigners hope this is the turning point in their lengthy fight against it. Protesting outside the Parliament buildings in Brussels, they number over 100, but speak for the 70% of Czechs who are against a radar base that the US has proposed to be built to the south of Prague, in Brdy. The vast majority of Czechs fear the missile defence system, and their country's involvement with it actually endangers them and the rest of Europe.
We believe that this is a European issue that will influence the security in the entire continent and will have consequences for all of us living in Europe and beyond. And as such, it should be discussed within the European Parliament.
It would work in conjunction with the radar base at Fylingdales in the north of England, and with a missile launch site also mooted for Poland. This would form a US missile defence system in Europe, which the White House says will protect itself and its allies against attacks from so-called rogue states like Iran. Russia opposes the plan, saying it would be ineffectual as a defence and threatens their national security. The rhetoric between Moscow and Washington intensified last year. The Kremlin, having already suggested alternative sites closer to Iran's border, said it would place missiles on its westernmost border of Kaliningrad as a countermeasure to the American bases. Among the group that's travelled to Brussels to protest against the missile defence system is Jan Norial, a mayor from Trukevich. He's campaigned at the European Parliament numerous times on the radar base issue. He says he's surprised how little MEPs know on the subject.
I was here in 2007 and was very surprised by the lack of information made available to the MEPs. I've come back with it. I consider the MEPs my representatives on the European stage. It's important they know.
Because of the strength of public sentiment at home, Mr. Norial has helped form the League of Mayors Against the Radar Base. Over 130 mayors support his fight. 13 out of 14 regional heads in the Czech Republic support the cause, but they face an uphill struggle. The radar base plans, a pet project under the Bush administration, have already been ratified in the upper chamber of the Czech Parliament, and it's now down to the lower house's vote. He feels that a change in president in the US and a more conciliatory tone regarding the project from Secretary of State Hillary Clinton are positive. Clinton, earlier this month, said if it doesn't work, it won't be built. But Norial says he'll continue the fight and won't stop until the plans are completely dropped.
Demonstrations, petitions, poster campaigns and online trips such as this one. We try to do everything to make people know that there are people out there fighting for them and their views.
Now, despite poll results, despite protests, despite even hunger strikes, people here say that the opposition view to the radar system gets little coverage in the Czech media. They say it's as if they're invisible, hence the white outfits. Now they're here in Europe to make sure they have their voices heard by politicians here. They say they want to spark a debate on an issue that affects not only their fellow Europeans but the rest of the world. They want Europe to finally decide once and for all where they stand on the US missile defence system. Anne Smith, RT, Brussels.